Morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. It has been a roller coaster week, and I think we're going to have a roller coaster day by the sounds of it. We've got lots of fear in the markets, but it might be legit fear. It's not like a ruse to scare the small fish, but probably a potentially legit fear. Where we've got things going on right now about nuclear talks and things, and Biden responded to say it was similar to the Cuban Missile Crisis, and so obviously that's sending shockwaves for the market. And we've got NFP later as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We are probably due a little flush because they're long. The retail guys are long on risk, and they shouldn't be. They should be conditioned to be fearful, and this risk event is probably going to do the job, I'd imagine, or it could be legit. That's the thing. We'll know if it's legit by looking at the VIX. So come to your spreadsheet and check the VIX, and that's updated in real time. So if we spike on that, it's real fear. Okay, this isn't going to lie. However, FX and indices are probably going to lie. This isn't. Okay, so keep an eye on your VIX. You know where that is. It's in the dashboard, and we might be risk on by Tuesday. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with the momentum here. All right. Yields rose, so that supports USD, and that's supposed to say Friday, but that's fine. And so that them pumping is going to support the USD and risk off theme as well. And also, don't forget North Korea fired that missile off. US responded with a missile over their skies, just to say don't do that. And so yeah, it's a bit crazy right now, and yeah, I don't know if it's a legit risk event. I mean, this is risk off. This needs fixing, and we are above the 52-week midpoint of VIX, so above 26.5, fairly risk off. Especially if we've got the psychological round number, that's important as well. I think I'm just going to sit in my hands. I don't normally trade Fridays, especially today. I think it could be legit risk. So AJ's a sell. EU's a buy, but if this is real, a real case to be scared and frightened, then this isn't particularly going to do well. We have to remember not to just look at sentiment on its own, but look at fundamentals as well. And we know the Euro USD is technically quite weak as well. You'd be looking to short this instrument. So while the sentiment is very useful, we can't take it on its own. It's important to know you have to use this on top of your analysis. So that's how the sentiment has turned out. Whether or not it's going to be correct and it's going to be fruitful, we'll have to wait and see. But fundamentally and technically, probably not so good. German 30, yeah, so you've got to be careful there as well. Oil might do well due to the fundamentals, potentially. So there's the USD being mega strong, and it's been 2-3 weeks now. We've tried to fight the USD, and we've seen it on this little matrix here of data, and it just gets quailed and it gets crushed, and the dollar just reigns supreme. Every time it tries to fight the dollar, it just gets pushed back down again. And now the pound USD has really fallen. We were the strongest against USD, and now it really got crushed. And a massive roller coaster for the pound this week. There isn't any sort of desire to trade that instrument unless you want to gamble. I think you can't look for that for a swing trade idea because it's going all over the shop. It is just completely. It's quite messy. Like I said in the Discord yesterday, pound is quite messy right now. NU is the leader, UC is the laggard. But however, I think this is going to perform quite well today because of the risk-off nature of the markets. And I think it could be a legit risk-off, actually. We shouldn't be talking about nuclear threats ever. And it happened yesterday. And so no trade of the day, which is probably quite good because of all this stuff that's going on in the world and NFP. And we had a decidedly negative week, but we could probably point towards the fundamentals not really helping the sentiment. And but if you wanted to join us, you're more than welcome. Admittedly, we had a negative week, but overall, the big picture, we are up massively, like 5,000 pips, over 80 weeks. So we're doing quite well. So there's the tiers if you want to join, and there's the Patreon link. There's the Discord link, which you can click in the YouTube video. And SSI snapshots, that's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. This is that mad scramble on Monday, where you had to get above that horizontal. And then Tuesday was, I thought, was a fake. And we had Wednesday was decidedly undecided on, on that price performance. And then yesterday, quite heavy. And that coincided with all that stuff going on the news. And it could be legit. I mean, might want to come back down there again. But we got 21 MA support at 3,700. It might test that. We might bounce, or we could break. I'll do a quick 2-minute video for the private feed in a second. S&P, so if they short it, it's going to be a buy, but it'll be a risky buy because we're at a high level. We are a sell at 54%. Ideally, you'd buy it when we were below 50%. So hopefully that's clear. You want to be, don't really want to be with the majority. You want to be with the minority. And the majority are long. Can you see 54? This is why this is red. A reduction of longs is bullish. So they have to sell it for this to come up. Likewise, exactly the same logic as US 500. If they sell it, will come up, potentially. And now this is what I was thinking. We might come down to this arrow here, but potentially we could continue. Because don't forget, there are so many other things going on in the world as opposed to retail sentiment. These fundamental risk off flows is going to push this down regardless of this. And so the retail guys might get paid. And we have to bear that in mind. Gold sideways. So there isn't anything to be said there at all. When the MA is going like that, we can't really say anything. You see how it went sideways and then they sold it. So we had a reaction. But we have to wait and see the SSI move from the moving average. Currently, it's not moving away from the moving average. You see, we've got a buy up here. We had a buy up here. They went long, so we had a sell up here. You see how it works? And so we need to get some deviation from the moving average. And it's highly accurate, so I definitely recommend getting this trading station. If you haven't got it, then it's like, well, I don't mean to be mean, but it's like your loss because it's free and it's quite amazing. So lots of movement on the stop loss clusters, massive moves. Dollar Swiss was a large mover. The Euro USD was a large mover for sale. And now that does coincide with the big picture and the dynamic. The dynamic is time. Static is where they are right now. According to 50%, are they above or below? So this sentimentally gives us a stronger USD case. We know from looking at yields, we've got a stronger USD. Technically, we're okay for a strong USD. Behavior rate, the dollar is punishing retail guys, so that would be normal. Pound and Aussie are being naughty, so we should see reversals on the pound and the Aussie. They've gone long on the Aussie, however, we should see price fall. And they've gone long on pound, so we should see price fall. But they need to fall a little bit more, and then they get, we get a greater score. So they've gone long. Hopefully that's clear. They've gone long pound. So if it went up, it wouldn't make sense. It should fall because they've gone long. Okay, and this is why this is really, really good and very powerful, and it gives us a indication how much they're getting paid, across all assets. And yeah, so we had 120 pip loss yesterday. Admittedly, I woke up late and Kiwi USD had moved a lot, and we'd probably hit its ADR, average daily range, by the time I put it out. And I was saying to potentially buy the retracements, buy the dips, but I did also stipulate it was late. And we had to take into account the fundamentals. The case was there for a strong USD. We are risk off at the big picture, which we can see at the very top here. So that's always going to help a strong USD if we risk off. See, the retail guys are net long on risk, and they shouldn't be. They should be selling, but they're not. They're buying. So come way back down, and here we are. And yeah, but we have to use the average bubbles. We won't change this at all. There's no reason to change this whatsoever, because over the last several months, the trade of the day have been amazing. So just because we had negative week. Doesn't mean that we're going to have a negative week next week. We'll probably due a negative week, to be honest with you, because we had 8 weeks back to back solid gains. So that would be unusual for any system in the world. There wouldn't be a system out there that could be guarantee 100% results week in, week out. So this would be okay. And so that's that. So we have to just to be careful. Remember your risk, remember the fundamentals, remember the technicals as well. We have to remember, is Kiwi USD really going to be a decent buy? Potentially, maybe, but you have to look at your technicals and get a small time frame for entry. Now, annoyingly, things are going back to their extremes. So pound USD will probably go back to strong sell, okay? And then it will get boring again, all right? And where we're going to have a very much a one-way highway for the USD, and it's just going to be a wrecking ball. And that's that. Economic calendar. So we've got the NFP, obviously. We've got to keep an eye on the average hourly earnings. Now, we are interested in that because we want to see wages increase if inflation is going up. All right. So if wages decrease while inflation is going up, we're going to have stagflation, and that's going to be very bearish. So hopefully that's clear. And you've got the PMI from China, and we need that to be above 50%, not 50%, but the 50 figure. Below that, that's a sign of recession. Okay, so that needs to stay above 50, and hopefully understand the importance of the average hourly earnings as well. That's important. That's probably more important than the actual NFP number. Okay, and then that's it. I'll wrap up now, and remember to trade safely, keep calm. I didn't keep calm yesterday. I got quite frustrated, and I was tired as well. So you've got to remember, try and keep disciplined, and if you get a bit crazy and a bit angry, then you're going to make mistakes and things. You've got to remain focused. And if you do get angry and agitated, just take a break. That's what I did yesterday, and I felt a lot better for it when I got back to my screen. So very choppy right now and volatile. So just remember to be careful. Remember, there's no harm in just watching as well. And also, you can just use a micro lot if you feel like you'll have to trade. If you've got the FOMO, maybe just use like a 0.01. You don't have to trade normal sizes or anything, or just sit on your hands and see how we go. So whether or not we're going to be legit risk today, we could be, but in a way it's good because we want them to be flushed out. It sounds horrible, but perhaps it's like a needs must thing where we are going to fall, and then these guys will have to get crushed, and then we'll be risk on for next week. All right. So that's the logic there. Be careful, and I'll speak to you soon.